Hello and welcome to today's Bitrix24 webinar, Next Level CRM. Thank you for joining today. Okay, so in today's Bitrix24 webinar, we're going to be focusing on the Bitrix24 CRM module. First of all, let's just go through some introductions. So my name is Sam Connor. I'm part of the sales engineer team here at Intreface. And we're based in the UK, the US, and Hong Kong, and we offer a full range of services to help you with Bitrix24. So starting off with pre-sale support, so we can discuss your requirements in detail. You can then provide implementation services. If you're then interested in moving forward with an implementation, we can manage the setup of the system to make sure Bitrix works for how you need the system to work. If you're interested in a self-hosted edition, we provide our own hosting services, and we can provide ongoing dedicated support to make sure you get the most value out of your Bitrix24 system. Okay, so let's just go through and just understand a bit more actually about what Bitrix24 actually is. So Bitrix24 is a collaboration suite of well in excess now of 35 different tools that you can use to manage your business. There are over 10 million customers around the world that use Bitrix24, and it's voted within the top 10 CRM systems globally. It's a very powerful CRM module. Now, the system is available in two different editions. So we have the Bitrix24 Cloud and the Bitrix24 self-hosted solution. And prices start from $49 per month for a cloud-based system. And we have the self-hosted, also called the on-premise edition, which is available for $2,990. It is referred to as a lifetime license, but you do have to remember that each year you do need to pay the annual subscription renewal to be able to continue using your on-premise system. Okay, so today's webinar is focusing on the CRM system. So first of all, it's really important to actually understand why you should use the Bitrix24 CRM system as your CRM. Okay, so first of all, within the Bitrix CRM system, we have marketing automation. So we're able to connect with all of our leads throughout different channels, and those can then automatically be synced into the CRM system. And we're going to have a look shortly at how we can sync those into the CRM. And that then allows us to easily capture and qualify leads very quickly. So we can start to automate through the sales cycle using the Bitrix24 CRM. And with the CRM system, it's completely customizable. And that's a really important feature we want to get across in today's webinar. It's how customizable the product is for what you're trying to achieve. Okay, and because it's so customizable, it allows us to have a 360-degree picture of the activity with our customers. So we can integrate different functionality into the system, such as email or live chat, SMS. We have the ability to capture all of these communications directly inside our CRM. We also have reporting, so we can monitor teams' effectiveness. So we're able to build dashboard reports and then also forecast sales opportunities in the CRM. So it is a really robust and powerful CRM solution. Now, as we go through today's webinar, if you have any questions, then please do add them into either the LinkedIn channel or on our Zoom chat, and we can answer those questions as we go through the webinar today. Okay, so looking at the topics of today's Bitrix24 webinar. So first of all, let's take a look at how we can generate leads into the system. So we're going to see the different ways we can create and generate leads into the Bitrix24 CRM. We'll then have an actual overview of the Bitrix24 module. So if you're new to actually the CRM system. It may be slightly different to other CRMs you use, so we'll take a look through a high-level overview of the module. We'll then do a case study, so we'll walk through actually the entire process of generating a new lead inside the system, and then we'll actually go in and analyze the whole process from the lead to closing the deal. And then we'll look at the reporting functionality within the CRM system as well. Okay, so first of all, then let's have a look at how we can generate leads inside Bitrix24. So first of all, as we can see here, there are a huge variety of ways that we're able to generate new leads inside the system. So first of all, we can import. So we're able to bulk upload existing leads via CSV. So that's really useful if you're replacing another CRM system. It's very easy to import those leads into the system. And that's where ourselves here at Intreface as a partner can help you with the importing of that information into the system. Then what we can see here, we have different integrations that we can use from Bitrix24. So first of all, we have a live chat tool. So what we can do is we can integrate a live chat system onto our website to communicate with potential prospects directly through our website. And that's really powerful because it could enable you to answer questions that the lead may have before they leave your site. So it enables you to capture those potential leads who are maybe leaving. You're able to answer their questions and hopefully close those sales. We have social network integrations. So Facebook and Instagram are very popular social media channels. You can connect via direct messages. So if somebody messages you on those sites, those can connect straight into your Bitrix24 system. Okay, and we just had a question in there as we just look at the importing of leads. Is there a limit on the quantity of leads that can be imported? So there could be a limit depending on what license you're using. So if you're on an on-premise edition of Bitrix24, then you are unlimited on the number of leads we can import. If you're on a cloud package, it will just depend on what package you have. There could be a limit. Say if you're on a basic or a standard cloud edition, you may be restricted on the number of leads that you're able to import and use in the CRM system. So just depending there on what license type you're using. Okay, so that was social media networks. We also have a very popular CRM forms. So what we can do is we can create web forms inside Bitrix24, such as contact us web form. We can embed that onto your websites. And then when people fill in their information, that can automatically create a new lead inside the CRM. So that's a very popular tool, and it's very easy to create your forms inside the system. We also have telephony, so you can connect your telephone system into Bitrix, then that allows you to answer calls directly inside the CRM system, and that can then generate a new lead if that number is not registered and connected with a contact or a lead in the system. We also have Bitrix sites, so we can create landing pages, and this connects very closely with the CRM marketing here. So sites and marketing. So what we could do, for example, is you may have a campaign that you're about to launch. So what we could do is create a site as a landing page, which then we could send people to from an email marketing campaign. And then from there, we could then connect a CRM form so people can fill in their information on the landing page we've just created, and that could then generate a new lead in the system. So you can see how lots of these different channels inside Bitrix24, they are all interconnected to enable you to generate multiple leads through to your CRM system. And of course, we also have the option to add manually into the CRM system. So there are lots of different ways we're able to add those leads into the system. Okay, so if we just go into Bitrix24, so we're in our Bitrix24 system here. Now, just to explain some of those different channels that we've just looked at there. So if we go into our CRM system here, now we can go into our menu across the top here. So this may look different to what if you're actually been using Bitrix24 for a period of time, you'll see the menu UI has changed. So if we go into the customer section here, we have our contact center, and this is where a lot of those integrations are to feed leads into our CRM system. So first of all, we mentioned around the live chat, so we could connect a live chat system to your website. And if we just go onto our website here, for example, you can see we have our live chat set up inside our website. So I can then type out a message and have that automatically relayed to our team inside Bitrix24. So it enables you to capture information seamlessly into your Bitrix24 system. So if we just, for example, we mentioned around social media, again, we can connect those channels into the system. So what we can do, for example, I'm just going to send a message into our Facebook page. And we connected our Facebook system into Bitrix24. So what we can then do is we could automatically respond to those messages inside our Bitrix24 system. So they can come into here as an open channel, and we can then respond to those messages through our portal system here. Okay, so we can see that's come into the system, and I can now respond to that Facebook message through the open channel. So that's how seamlessly we can connect these different platforms with your Bitrix24 system. So someone may be on your website, someone could be on Facebook. We're able to seamlessly connect all of these into the system, and we can see the information that has been saved as a new lead inside the CRM system. So we can see the lots of different channels here we can connect. We mentioned around web forms. So inside Bitrix24, we have a web form builder functionality. So we can create forms inside the system here. So we can add fields from the CRM system. So we can add really as much information as we want to capture on that form as you require, because you can create custom fields inside your CRM system and then add those onto your form. So it really starts to become a customizable system to feed leads into your CRM system. Okay, and those can then automatically feed into your lead database. Now, we won't go through leads just this second because we're going to go through an overview of the module shortly, but please do let me know if you have any questions and we can run through those for you during today's intervals. So let's just now go through and check if we have any further questions. Okay, so I can see another question has come in on LinkedIn. Is there a way to remove the lead functionality? So it is a very good question. And as we mentioned inside the CRM system, this system is very customizable. So if you did want to actually remove the lead functionality, then we could do so. So maybe for your business, leads isn't actually part of your sales process. If every inquiry is a genuine sales opportunity, I could see why you just would want to use the deals feature rather than having leads inside your CRM. So if we go into the settings inside leads, and if we go to CRM mode, then you have the options here. So we have on our system here, we have the classic CRM turned on. So that's where we convert a lead into a deal and a contact. But we also have the other option, which is a simple CRM. And that's where we remove the deal functionality. And what we have is simply deals and contacts. So this is really where you can start to customize the system for how you want to work. So yes, you do have the option there to remove leads and just go straight into deals and contacts, depending on what your sales process is. Okay, so that's a really good question. And if there are any other questions, please do add them either into LinkedIn or onto our Zoom channel, and we'll be able to answer those during the intervals of today's session. Okay, so moving on now, let's take a look at the modules within Bitrix24 CRM. Okay, so what we're going to do in this section of the webinar is have a look at leads and deals. We'll then have a look at contacts and companies, along with the quotes and invoicing, so we can connect those with our contacts and companies. And then we'll look at a new feature within Bitrix24 called Smart Process Automation, which essentially gives you the ability to create brand new entities inside your CRM system. So this is really where we can start to take customization really to the next level within the Bitrix24 CRM, because we can create new entities inside the CRM system. Okay, so first of all, we have leads inside our CRM. So across the top here, you can see what modules we are in. So we can see we're inside our lead database. So we've just seen how we can connect lots of different platforms to feed leads into the system, from live chat, Facebook, social media. Those are ways we can connect to feed leads into the system. And if you're new to trying to understand CRMs, leads are essentially new inquiries. Okay, so leads inside here are new inquiries, and we need to qualify those leads to understand if they are genuine sales opportunities that we actually want to spend our valuable time on. Inside sales, your time is precious, so you can't be working on every single inquiry that comes in. So we need to qualify those. And the way we can do that is by using the customized lead stages inside the CRM here. So we can see the leads we have. We've got those at different stages of our sales cycle. And these stages are completely customizable. So you can have as many or as few stages as you require. You can change the name, the color, the whole terminology is customizable to what your leads cycle and stage would be. And as an admin inside here, I can customize the actual layout of the system and what fields we display. So it's really customizable to how you want to work. And we also have the Kanban view, which is a very popular view. So we can see the stages of leads across the top. And what we can do is we can progress the lead through those different stages like so. And we can click into a lead directly inside there. And that will open up the lead page, where we can see all the information about the lead on the left-hand side. You can create custom fields to capture specific information, and even create different sections like so. So you can start to see how customizable this is to what information you want to store inside your CRM system. Bitrix24 gives you the power to do that. And then on the right-hand side, this is really where we mentioned at the start around integrations in the contact center around email, SMS, live chat. We then start to see those integrations feed into here. So on the right-hand side, you have the activity stream, which will show you all of the communications that have taken place with your leads. And we can see on emails, for example, who's responsible for those communications, and you can filter through that information inside the system as well. Now, what we can do as well is go into our notes section here. And what we're able to do inside here is add notes about the lead. We can also attach files and information. And then we can progress the lead through the different stages like so as we're going through our sales cycle. And then you can see automations have now started to take place. And this is where Bitrix becomes incredibly powerful, because what we can do is set up automation rules. So at different stages of your sales cycle, we can then automatically have client communications automated, or maybe internal activity for your sales team. So for example, as soon as the lead comes in at the new inquiry stage, we're automatically creating a templated email and populating that dynamically with the lead's information. So we're thanking them for their inquiry. So let's say we have a landing page set up with a web form. The lead fills in that web form. That information can then automatically feed into the CRM. We can automate communications to them. And then we could maybe create a task for the responsible person to get in contact with them. So you can start to streamline and save so much time inside your sales process. And then we also have triggers. And a trigger can automatically update the stage that the lead is at. So for example, if a lead clicks on a link on an email, for example, we could automatically move them to, say, in progress or at the resolution stage. So you can automate leads through your sales cycle. Okay, and then hopefully the lead has been qualified, so it's a genuine sales opportunity. What we can then do is we can convert that lead into a different entity. So we can then, for example, create a deal and a contact. And if we're creating a deal, we can then choose a pipeline that we want to segment that deal into. And the way you want to see this is really essentially It could be different products or services you offer, or let's say if you're a real estate company, you would have a sales pipeline for the houses you're selling and also a rental pipeline for the rental properties. So it allows you to segment your sales activities. And this is very critical for reporting later on. So we can report on the activity inside different pipelines. Okay, so that's when we can create a deal and they can connect with your contacts and companies. So let's go into our contacts area. So inside here, we can see all of the contacts inside our CRM system, and we can see a breakdown of the information on our contacts. You've also got a filtering system. So this is a multi-filter search tool. So you can drill down into any information that you have about your particular contacts. So this is really useful for segmenting. So I have the ability to free text search as well to drill down into that information. And let's click into a contact record. We can see inside the contact, again, very similar layout to leads. So just in terms of the UI here, it's very simple to see information in different entities in the CRM system. So on the left-hand side, we have all of the information about the contacts. We can also see Mark Moon here is the manager associated with the company called Techco. So you can associate a contact to multiple companies. And then on the right-hand side, again, we have all of that activity log. So we can see emails, we can even see calls. And we can then have all of that history saved in the contacts page. Across the top here, we can see all of the deals that this contact is associated with. So we'll go into the deals shortly. And we can then also see the quotes and the invoices. And this is where Bitrix becomes really powerful because it allows you to see everything about a contact in a very simple UI and efficient process. We don't have to go into lots of different areas of the CRM system. I can go into my client and see all of the history associated with the client. I can see all of the deals, all of the quotes. Everything is saved in this one area. So it gives you, as we mentioned at the start, we said how Bitrix gives you that 360-degree view of the history with your customers. And you can see this right here. Now, we mentioned how you can associate a contact with companies. So you can see the company inside here. So let's just go into our company database. So very similar kind of structure here, but the key difference is if we go into a company, we can then associate multiple contacts with our companies. Okay, so within there, we've got contacts and companies. We've got our analytics module as well. So this is where we can start to analyze the information that's inside our CRM system. So we'll come to that at the end of today's webinar. But then we also have, we've mentioned around quotes and invoices. So we have a quotes database where we can generate and store quotes inside our system. And once we have created our quotes, we can progress our quotes through different stages, which are completely customizable. And we can then generate an invoice and we can store all of our invoices inside our invoice database. Now, depending on your version of Bitrix, you will see there is a newer version of the invoices module as well. So just check which edition you have. We're on the older version right now, so you may have an update on your invoices section. And so we saw how quotes and invoices are connected with the contacts, and we also have deals which are connected with our contacts and companies. So inside deals, we can create the different stages that we want to progress our sales opportunities through, and we can create different pipelines to segment those sales opportunities. Now, what's really useful here is we add a value to our deals. We can progress those deals through the different stages of our sales process, and that will then automatically update the value at that stage. So in terms of forecasting, I can see we've got a lot of value here at the send invoice stage. So in terms of forecasting and being able to budget, we're able, with the pipeline Kanban view here, be able to analyze very quickly the forecasted value at every stage of our sales process. And what's really nice with the pipeline feature in Bitrix is we can go into our automations. So we can set up automation processes for every stage of our pipeline inside the UK pipeline. But let's say if we go into the USA pipeline, the stages are completely different, and so are the automation rules. And that's really powerful, because if you are going to use pipelines for maybe the different services you sell, it could be very similar that you may have different stages that you actually progress your customers through depending on what service they buy. So you're able to customize the CRM system to capture those different pieces of processes that you store for your different types of services. You're able to capture that information inside your pipeline features. Okay, so let's look at leads, deals, your contacts and companies, and the quotes and invoices. We just have another question come in here. So once you convert it to a contact, will it be displayed the lead tracking history within the contact? Also the date the lead has been converted. So yes, you still get all of that history inside the system here. So if we go into our leads, and let's see if we convert one of our leads into a contact, it will convert that lead into a contact inside the system. And you can see as well the history. So 20th of July 2021, the lead was created. And I can click on the lead and it will open up that history of the lead page inside the system. But you can then also see the contact record as well. So you've got that complete connection. So don't worry, when you convert a lead, you don't lose that history or information. It's simply that we've now created a contact entity inside the contact database. The lead information is not lost. So if I just go back into leads here, we're currently looking at all of our leads that are in progress. But what I could do is just look at all of our converted leads. You have all of that history inside the system here. So you don't lose any of that information inside your Bitrix CRM system. Okay. So let's look at the standard modules within inside the CRM system. But what Bitrix have recently done, they've really taken this to a new level by using what we call the Smart Process Automation tool. And essentially what this allows you to do is it allows you to create new entities inside the CRM system that you can then connect with your existing entities inside the system. So for example, we have a lot of charities that use Bitrix24 for storing contact information about their contacts. Now, one feature, for example, we can create is a grants module. So what you can then do is you can track what grants you have approved or submitted to your members. That could all be captured inside the CRM system. So here inside our grants module, this is a new module we've created inside the CRM system. So here we can see all of the grants that have been awarded in the system. We can see what stage they're at, so you can create your own stages to progress any of your custom smart process automations. And we can go into one of the grants, and you can then open up a grant page like here, so you can capture custom information. And this is then linked back with your contacts. So if we go back into the marketing contact, what we can do is I could then show that grant information directly inside the contact page in the CRM system. So I could click on grants, and that then gives me visibility as to what grants are associated with this contact. So that's just one example. We have a lot of charities who use Bitrix24. So this is one way we can really start to evolve how the CRM system works for charities, by being able to create custom modules inside the CRM system. Well, and other ways we could use this is, for example, feedback from customers. We could create a feedback module, so people could submit a web form, and that could then create a feedback loop into a feedback module, which connects with your contacts and companies. So the power of smart process automation is almost endless. It allows us to create as many custom modules inside the CRM system as you require. Okay, so that's a look at the standard modules, and then a look there at the smart process automation. So that is the SPA, which allows us to create custom modules which can then be connected into our CRM system. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll go through a demonstration of actually a full sales process. So we'll see now how we can actually capture a new lead into the CRM system. And then we'll go through that sales process by progressing through the lead stages, generating a deal, and then we'll see how we can generate a quote and an invoice using document templates and then close that sales opportunity. So we'll see how the automation rules work through our leads and deals. Okay. Right, so let's just come out of the CRM system here. Now, we mentioned at the start, if we just go back into the contact center, how we have lots of different channels that we can use to generate new leads into the CRM system. And one of those was how we could create a web form using the web form builder here to then maybe embed that onto a website, for example. So if I just go back onto our website, we mentioned how we've got a live chat set up. Well, what we could also set up is a form. So for example, where we've got book an online demonstration, we have a pop-up form. So you could fill in your information on here, and that can then automatically create a new lead inside your CRM system. So if we just go back into here, we've got a form set up here. So I'm going to submit my information from that form. Okay, and we can see now we've received a notification that a form has been submitted. Now, just as we are looking at notifications there, you can receive notifications in several different ways inside the system. So we can receive them, as we see here, directly inside the CRM, or you can receive them as an email, or you can receive them as a push notification to your mobile device. So there's several different ways you can make sure you're keeping on top when a new lead comes into the system. There's a huge variety of ways you can see that information. And we can then also customize actually when we receive notifications. So inside the advanced functionality of the notification center, you can customize actually what triggers a notification to be added into your Bitrix24 system. Let's now go into the CRM system and let's now look at all of the leads that are in progress. So we can see 1 minute ago that the lead from the web form has been added into the system. So we can, let's just change the title. We could use automations actually to change the title there for the actual person. So it's brought through the information about that lead. And we can see through automations as well, it's automatically sent out an email to the lead inside the system. And we can see we've got a second email ready to go in 5 days' time if the lead is still at this stage. What I could do from here is I'm going to move to the next stage and book a call with this prospect. So we can see here now it's automatically created a task inside the system. And this information would then also can connect with your calendar inside the system. So I could store all the information about this task inside our task page, and you can then start logging time as well. So if you're doing tasks inside the CRM, you're able to record the amount of time you're spending on those tasks connected with your prospects and leads. Okay, so if we integrate telephony, I could call directly through the system as well, just to point that out. But let's add some notes now about the lead. And what's really nice when we're making notes inside here is I can tag colleagues on this. So now Mark is going to be tagged into this comment, and I can now start to see with Mark when we would have availability for training. So you can start to capture all of that information inside here. Let's now send Sam an email. So we've got our email integration. You could use templates inside here, or you can manually type out information as well for the email. So we've seen how we have email integrations. We also have the ability through Twilio to connect SMS. So if you wanted, we could also send SMS through the system here. Okay, so we're going to book in the training. So what we're going to do now is generate a deal and a contact. And now I'm going to select what pipeline. Sam's in the UK, so I'm going to add this as a new deal opportunity into our UK pipeline. Okay, perfect. So we've added our deal and it's generated a new contact in the system, and it's now connected the contact with the deal. So we can see now that deal is connected in the system. So right now we're going to actually go to confirm the requirements. So we know Sam wants training for the Bitrix24 system. So let's go into our product section, and I can now select products from our system. So you have a product catalog inside your Bitrix24 system. So this allows you to capture all your products and services that you may offer, or you could manually add product lines into the system. So I'm going to add that live chat training. We can then add the price, add the quantity. So it's going to be 3 hours. So let's now add 3 to the hours there. And we can then save that inside the deal. And that now will generate a value to be connected with the deal inside the CRM system. So if we just now go into our deals, let's just take a look at what that looks like inside our Kanban. We can see that now the training is now at the confirm requirement stage. So we're able to capture the information about the training. Okay, so I'm just going to make some more notes. Okay, so we're going to add that information into here. We're going to move to the next stages. So what we can do within the system as well is we can generate documents. So Bitrix has a template designer tool. So what we can do is we can upload templated documents, such as quote templates, for example, and that can then automatically populate information from your system here to generate personalized documents. So within our deal section, let's add quotes and invoices, because what we want to do is actually send Sam a quote. So you can see here, I'm customizing the actual tabs inside our deal page. So you can hide and remove tabs you don't require as an administrator. So we can strip out information you don't need. So you can really simplify the actual product that you want for your team. So we're going to move into the quote section and generate a quote based on the products that we have just added into the deal. So it's brought through that information. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our quote template to generate a quote that I can then send out to our prospect. So we can then create the document using the document generator tool. And what we can then do is we can move this through to different stages. So let's say we're waiting on the client. That's really useful because what we can then do is we could use automation rules. So if the quote is still at the waiting on client stage in 2 days' time, we're going to receive a notification to the responsible person for the quote to get back in touch with the client to see if they want to proceed with the quote. That really simple automation just goes to show you how you can make sure your sales team are keeping on top of their sales deals inside the Bitrix24 CRM system. So hopefully when that quote has been approved, we can then move to the invoice stage, and we can then automatically, using an invoice template, generate an invoice that is then connected with our deal. So we can go and see how this all interconnects. So we've got the invoice, we've got the quote, and if we just refresh our deal, all of this information is captured inside the deal. So we can see the quote's been approved. We can see all the information about the quote, and we can then generate the invoice inside the system. Now, what you could also do if you wanted to, is we could actually automatically have that document created inside the system. So when we get to the invoice stage, we could set up an automation rule. So we could automatically generate the invoice based on the product information that we have created inside our deal. So again, rather than manually creating those documents, we could automatically create those documents inside the system. And one of the features I want to show you here is actually for any on-premise edition or also the professional and enterprise cloud, you have access to the business process designer tool here. And what we could do is when a deal is won, we could actually create a client project portal inside our CRM system. So this is really for the task and projects team, but what we could do is create a project with specific tasks that need to be completed when the deal moves to the one stage. So if we just now go back into our deal, and let's go back into the system here, let's mark this deal as 1, and we'll add when we think this training will be renewed. So here you can put rules in place to make sure specific information is created. And now let's just go into our tasks and projects section. And what we can do inside here is we're now able to see that actually the project for Sam Connor's training has automatically been created. So we've created a portal inside the project management area of Bitrix24, and it's brought specific people with specific tasks that have to be completed. So that could be a really powerful way to connect and streamline your sales processes inside the system. So what we're able to do through the automation is when the deal is won, we automatically create the project team, the project that needs to be worked on, and we can bring specific tasks that the team need to complete. So you can remove any manual process there. You can remove the actual ability for human interference and error by using the business process designer tool to actually streamline the entire sales to project cycle. And we can then actually bring external clients, such as the customer, into that project as well as an external user. Okay, so let's look at how we can manage the entire sales cycle. And if we just go now into our contacts, so let's go into, have a look at our customers. What we can see is actually all of that information has now been saved inside the system. So I can go into the quotes and see the quote that was won, and I can see the deal that was won as well. So you have that entire history saved inside the system. And that now brings us nicely to look at reporting inside Bitrix24. So you may have a lot of leads inside the system and also a lot of sales that you're winning through the different pipelines. It's critical that you're able to report on that information. And Bitrix has a huge variety of ways that you can report. So let's take a look at the different ways we can report inside the CRM system. So first of all, because this system is so customizable, we can actually use the list view here inside leads and deals. Because as we mentioned at the start, you're able to customize the layout of this information, and you can filter through the data as well. So maybe we just want to look at all of the leads at certain stages. And then I can export this information out of the system. So if you wanted to take data out of the system, we could use the list view here to actually manipulate the information we want to show and export that data. If we move into deals, we have the Kanban view, which I think is a really good way to view information. So you can automatically see the value at every single stage of your deals process. And we can then also, as I say, filter through to our different pipelines to see the forecasted revenue across the different services that we have on offer. We also have the analytics module. So inside here, what we can do is we can create dashboard reports of the information inside the CRM system. So we can go into our lead database and capture and create dashboards, seeing how well we've converted leads. So we can see how well all of our team have converted leads inside the system. And every single custom field you create inside the system can be filtered on. So you can start to see how you can really build bespoke reporting inside the CRM system. I mentioned how it's important to have pipelines for the different types of products and services you sell. And the reason for that is because you can then create dashboard reports based on the activity on your pipeline. So if you go into deals, for example, what we're able to do is we can create pipelines and dashboards of that information. So here we're looking in the UK pipeline, but we could then filter and drill down into other pipelines as well. We could also set up employee performances as well. So actually what you may want to do is actually set up dashboards for targets for your teams. So what we could do is set targets for our sales teams so we can see how well they're tracking to their targets. And we can make sure this is just only available for management. So you don't need to be concerned about the sales team being able to access this report and see the targets for other members as well. You would be able to set permissions as to who is able to view this information in this report. And we also have the reporting wizard tool. So what this allows you to do is actually build your very own report from scratch. So rather than having a dashboard, we could select which area of the CRM we want to report on. And then we can add a title and a description for our report, and then choose the date range as well. And then we can select any custom fields from the CRM system to essentially build out your very own report from scratch. So that's another way you can build reports, and then you can choose who you want to actually share that report with inside the CRM system. So essentially what we're trying to show you here is there isn't really just one area for reporting inside the Bitrix24 system. Reports is available in lots of different areas of the CRM system. So this is where we can come in as a partner to help you to decide which reporting tools are the most useful for you inside the system. And also what's really important to understand is reporting is really the last section of the CRM setup. We need to make sure your leads are set up correctly, your deals with the correct pipelines and stages. All of this needs to be set up first before we take a look at reporting, because reporting will entirely come from how the CRM is set up inside your CRM system. And that's where we can come in as a partner. So we've set up the Bitrix24 CRM system for hundreds of clients. So if you do need assistance, we will add our contact details at the end, and we can help you with the build out of your Bitrix24 CRM system. Okay, so just to move on to look at some of the differences between the cloud and self-hosted. So we've already mentioned a few of the differences. But first of all, both the cloud and self-hosted include leads, deals, invoicing, reporting, and the smart process automation tool. Now, with the cloud system, you may be restricted on the number of leads and deals you can add. So please do check depending on which tier license you have. With the professional and enterprise, you're unlimited, and it's the same with the self-hosted. Both include custom record layouts, and you can do automations on both editions. If you want to have access to the business process designer tool, you need to have at least a professional cloud edition. And I'd say that the biggest difference between cloud and self-hosted, with the self-hosted, we have access to the source code. So with the self-hosted, it is possible to fully customize the system. So we could integrate the CRM system with, for example, your finance system, or with another API trigger. So you could trigger information to or from another system into the Bitrix24 CRM system. So if you do have quite advanced requirements, a self-hosted edition may be the more appropriate tool for you to manage your requirements. Okay, so in summary today, we've looked at how we can use the different marketing features to capture new leads inside the system. So we can create marketing campaigns, which then connect with our landing pages, where we can use live chat and web forms to feed information into the CRM system. We've seen how we can use automations to automatically communicate with our leads and deals. So through client communications, but also activity with us for our sales team, so you can streamline the sales process. We can communicate through multiple channels, whether that's email, SMS using our Twilio connection, or we could even do telephony, so you can make and receive calls directly in the system. All additional features now are including WhatsApp and also those social media connections, so people could message you for an inbound message from Facebook and Instagram. And then that allows us to have that 360-degree view. So when we went into our contact page, we saw how we could see emails, notes, SMS. You have that full picture of activity with those contacts. So you don't have the awkwardness of maybe speaking with a client on a conversation that's already taking place. That information could already be captured in your CRM system. And then we've seen how we can analyze information. So we can see and build dashboard reports and forecast our sales using the deal Kanban view. Okay, so that's a summary of today's Bitrix24 Next Level CRM. So here are a selection of our up and coming webinars. We're here every other Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If in the meantime, if you have any questions, please do contact us, sales@intreface.com. Make sure to register on YouTube and follow us on LinkedIn to get all up-to-date information on Bitrix24. Thank you very much for your time today. I look forward to seeing you on our next Bitrix24 webinar. Bye for now.